Good morning. Operator Harrison. Base systems have been analyzed. Current power supply remains inadequate for sustained operations, especially during fog cycles. Temporary hydrogen motor output is stable, but reliance on it may deplete available resources.
Yeah, I noticed that. We're burning through hydrogen faster than a jackrabbit on hot coals. What do you suggest?
Recommended next steps include establishing a more permanent power supply, such as additional wind turbines or solar panels with battery storage. Additionally, constructing a server room will allow for system migration from the pod to the base, ensuring continuity of operations and preventing data loss in the event of power depletion.
Makes sense. What else should we prioritize?
Ore collection is essential for expanding production capabilities and tool upgrades. A designated production line for ICE is advised to maintain hydrogen levels. Integrating hydrogen and oxygen tanks, along with a fixed hydrogen engine, will bolster energy reserves.
Got it. We'll need a safe spot to store all that. Maybe set up an airtight room for sleeping too. That way, we can think about repurposing the pod or converting it to a storage.
Affirmative. Creating an airtight space will ensure suitable living conditions, reducing dependency on the pod. Systems will continue to monitor and update your HUD with task priorities.
Alright, partner, let's get to work. Looks like today is gonna be another busy one. Alright, it's morning time here. Sun's about to be poking up. Yep, it's starting to poke up over the... So, we'll probably need to start working on our base here. To do that, we need to get ores. Now, we can go hand mine and use the pod here to bring ores back and forth, but it doesn't hold a lot, and it'll take a couple days just to even get enough to start really building a lot of stuff around here. Or we can make us a miner and just mine everything and then fly back and forth. So that's probably what we're gonna do. So let's see how much stuff we have in here right now. We might need to go make a trip first. We got some steel plate and some interior plate. We got a little bit of iron, but we don't have a lot of nickel or silicon. So I'll probably go ahead and go dig up some nickel, some silicon, and then some iron. Maybe do another trip for all that, so we have enough to build our miner. So let me head off that way and start getting that as the morning gets up, and then we'll start working on the miner itself. We'll probably want to build us a battery and stuff like that also. Back at me. While we're waiting, I might queue up the stuff for a battery, so when we come back we can plop a battery on here. Alright, so I got 2 batteries queued up. Looks like we should have enough to build everything up from what we got. So hopefully by the time we get back, all that'll be ready to go, and then we'll start building it. That way we can have power. We'll go do the iron and the nickel first. I know there's some cobalt back there. We're going to need some of that also. So let me go back here and hit this, and then I'll probably drop it off and then maybe go get some silicon. So here we are at our mine. So let me dig this up and I'll be right back with you. Alright, all loaded up, so I'm going to go drop this off, and then I'm going to go search for some silicon. We don't need much of it, but I'd like to make sure I had enough for everything we're building. So I got everything deposited in here, add a little bit of stone. But that should give us a lot of that. I'll give us a little bit more iron, and then that should be more than enough cobalt for what we need. So let's go find that silicon. So we'll bring up our GPS here and go through these and find out which one would be the best one to get to. This one has 3 of them. And then these are just silicon and magnesium. I'm feeling there's something else in these, but I couldn't find it. Let's just find which one's closer. So this one's 3.4 Ks that way. That one's kind of far. This one is 2.4 Ks that way. This one is 947 meters that way. That might be the one to go to. Let's just check this last one real quick. This one is 1.3 Ks that way. Alright, so we'll go to this one that has all 3 of them. Should be nice to have. We really don't need the nickel, but having another nickel area could be helpful. The magnesium will be helpful later on, but I'm not too worried about that right now. So let me go get some silicon. Right, here we are. So we got silicon that way, nickel that way. Where's the magnesium at? Magnesium's right below us. So let me get something between the silicon and the magnesium. So the magnesium was back here. We might go down right here. So let me dig this down and then grab some of that. I got me some silicon. I actually, where the silicon is down here, there's magnesium right next to it. So I grabbed me just a little bit of it. Might as well since we are right here. So that'll be helpful. Grab those up while I'm down here. And then, so I'm pretty much all full in the pod. So we're gonna go ahead and head back to the base and then start building our miner. We have an unknown signal. Let's go ahead and grab this unknown signal while we're here first. We haven't picked up one yet today. And we only got 53 seconds to get it. I think we should get down there in time. Oh, it's gonna be a race for the clock. Can we get there in time? Where's the button at? Oh! I've been one of those with the buttons on the bottom. Well, we tried. Let's go ahead and head back to the base. Our base is starting to get big enough where we can see it from part of a distance, so that's good. I know we could always kind of see it from the iron mine, and we should be able to see it from the silicon mine too, I think. So that also means that if there's anybody else here on the planet, we have to watch out for passerbys, because they might be able to spot it now. At least a little bit of it. Alright, we're back, so let's go ahead and deposit this, and then we'll start working on the miner. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these batteries on, that way we can have power. I think I'll put the batteries right under the floor. Oh no, I might want to put a conveyor along the front here. Maybe not. So we'll have these conveyored up together, right? So yeah, let's put them right here underneath this floor. We're gonna have both batteries right here, so let me weld these out. Alright, so I got our batteries set up here. Now let's go ahead and start on our miner. Probably want to start building it down here since we have our access to the cargo here. I haven't figured out what I want to do with the roof and everything on the side of the base yet. So let me get a connector here. Alright, I got my little hangman's post here, so we're going to start with a connector. I think I want to use a flat connector and put it on the bottom. So I want to try to use the flat thrusters. I know they don't make as much thrust as the bigger ones like this, but they're a whole lot smaller. So this one uses 576 kilonewtons as thrust, and then this one will use 230. So it almost takes 3 of these to make up 1 of these. And I usually use 2 of these, so if I have 6 of these ones, that should make up for the 2 that I need. Actually, it'll be a little bit more, so that'll make up a little bit more than that. So it's actually 2.5 of these will make up 1 of the big ones. So we'll go ahead and go with that. I don't know if I want to move it. I might just go like this on this side. Then do the same thing on the other side. I'll have to fix my thing here. I think that's gonna pretty much be the bottom of it. And it'll make it all pretty much flat on the bottom too. And then I want to put cargo on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and queue me up some new tools also. I have some stuff already queued up that I think I'm gonna need. That way I can get through this a little bit quicker. I can go to the level 2 tools now too. With this, I want to probably put a cargo, medium cargo here in the middle, and then maybe have the new cargo containers. These right here on either side, like this. So I'm thinking if I have these over here on the sides like this, so this will be about how wide it's going to be. So I'll have 2 of these bigger cargos with the smaller one here in the middle. Pack the batteries here in the middle, I think. And then we'll have our drills off the front. We might move them this way since we got that in the way. So we'll have the drills off the front with the H2O2 generator maybe right here in the middle with the cockpit behind it. So let me weld some of this up so we can see what we're looking at here. The way these are looking, I might move the thrusters out so they're even with the bottom of here. I'm gonna have 2 back thrusters kind of on the back of these. So like this. I can always do a third one here in the middle if I need that power. And then I might have the side ones go along the side down here. So underneath them. So with the small ones, they use 32. And then the small ones of these use 96. So it takes 3 of these to make up 1 of those. I usually use 2 of those. So I'll need at least 6 of these on each side. So yeah, if we push these out and then maybe stick these in between here like this, I think that'll look good. But let me kind of tie all this together up here. I need to put some batteries in here too. Let's do that. So with all these thrusters, I might need an extra battery. Might be able to put maybe some little ones in to help with it. That's 2 batteries there. Let's go ahead and get these welded up. I got the thrusters from the bottom welded back out. So I'll probably put another one right here just to make it look a little bit better also. So we'll have our 3 back here in the back. Let me weld these up real quick. Get stuck on this tire. Let me move this buggy out of the way so I can get stuck on it. Now it's getting dark. We've spent most of the day mining all that stuff. So I'll work on this here on through the night. So hopefully by the morning we can have something that we can go and get some ores on, and then we might start working on the base. So let me weld these up here real quick. So this is about how I'm gonna have it planned. I got 3 big flat thrusters on the back. I have 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on each side. So I think that'll be more than enough because, like I said, 3 of these do for 2 of the regular one, or for 1 of the regular ones. So this would be 2 and then a little bit more. And I like how I have them here on the side all lined up. I think that'll look good. I might put some type of light effects or something behind it. I'll put a little bit of plate and stuff here on the bottom to kind of protect the sides. Mainly going to try to protect it from the top. So we're not going to go much taller than this. I think this is going to be the actual top of the ship. And then, like I said, I'm going to have an H2O2 generator back this way. In fact, I can pull it on. Okay, so this is kind of how I have this planned out here. I'm going to use the industrial cockpit here. It's connected to the generator here. And then I have these conveyor blocks that's going to convert it all over. And then we'll have the drills coming out. I'm going to need to weld all this up, but I'm actually out of iron. So I'm going to go do an iron run real quick. So that might last the rest of the night. So in the morning we can finish welding all this up. So we'll see you back then. Alright, it's been a long night. So we got some stuff done here on the miner. So let's go ahead and come and look at it here. I'm going to stretch in here real quick. Alright, the sun's about to come up over the mountain over there. You can kind of see it. So I went and did a little bit more iron mining before I went and lay down. But this is what this is going to look like. I got the drills on here. I don't know if they're going to be long enough. Oops, fell off. So I don't know if they're going to be long enough. That's something we're going to have to look at. If I need to extend it out one more, I can. I moved the front thrusters up a little bit closer on this side, just so I can kind of give it a little bit more detail when I start building the stuff around it. Now I don't want to put too much of a shell to it because I don't want it to be way too heavy. But let me go ahead and finish welding these up. I need these thrusters, this grill. I have gyros on it. The gyros are down here. I got one on each side right here. And then I got a ore detector right here in the middle. So that's the main things. And then I'm going to need to set up my ejection system to eject any stone or ice that we have. But let me go ahead and weld all this up so we can look at it. And then it might actually be ready for a test flight. The battery should be pretty much charged by now since it's been on all night. But let me weld this up real quick and I can have a quick look at it. Alright, I got everything all welded up here. So we should be able to go and take our first at least test flight, make sure everything is set up right. But we got a storm coming in, so we're going to be losing a little bit of power here. Our batteries actually died while we've been building everything. I don't know if they're starting to charge back up. I did add an extra wind tower up there also to kind of help with everything, and I used up all the stuff for our engine here too. So we're gonna have to mine us some ice, so that might be one of the first trips we do in this thing. But I got everything on, it looks like. The only thing I still don't have is the injectors, but we can worry about that later, make sure everything else fits right. So let's take this on its first flight. So we'll come up here and cut this off. It should start floating, hopefully. Yep, okay, good. We're hovering here. I'm gonna just take this down so I don't try to run over it later. I'm gonna need to build a connector for it to connect to also. But let's go ahead and get this and give it a little test run here. So we got good lift up. Now I have all the engines on right now. My plan is just to be able to do a couple of engines. So we'll have a couple of engines that only work while we're just cruising around, and then we'll have enough more engines turned on when we actually do our mining, so we can kind of save power. But right now, with all engines on, we got about 30 minutes of power on full charge, which isn't half bad. Let me grab this unknown signal while we're here. Oh, it's one of those. Gotta drill out this thruster here in the middle. There we go. What did we get? We got a leopard drill. Alright, so let's go ahead and grind this out. Let me get into the cargo. We got another plushie. We're gonna have to start building a shelf to put our plushies on. But let me grind this down. Grab a little bit more resources here. And then we'll do a quick little mining trip. We'll grab a little bit of ice. Maybe grab a little bit more iron. But ice is probably going to be the biggest thing, but we'll probably grab up ice as we're grabbing the iron anyways. So we'll head over that way. Alright, let's head on out. Yeah, it's got good acceleration up when it's empty. Full power. Let's see, our iron mine's this way. I got good forward acceleration too. One of the things I was worried about, if my drills are out, they look like they're out far enough from the cockpit. So we'll try that out here in a minute. Now I do need a name for the miner, so if you guys have any suggestions, leave it in the comment. If I pick the name you choose, I'll give you a little shout out when I do it. And if I get many, or if I get many I like, we might put up a vote on the channel, so be on the lookout for that also. Now once I do have this completed, I will have it on the Steam Workshop. I already have my pods on there already. I have both versions of it, so the link for those are down in the description below with the link for the mods I'm using right now. Now more odds will probably be added on as the game goes on, so you can keep checking back for different mods. So let's go ahead and get us some ice and some iron. Let's fill this baby up to see how much we can do. So we're gonna right click mine for a little bit to get it down here. So right click mine does make enough room for the ship itself, so that's good. I have no lights also, so that might be a little bit of an issue. I do have my suit lights that'll come through the window a little bit, so it might get a little dark in here. Yeah, it's gonna get real dark in here. Let me just mine out some of this ice. See how we're gonna do with this, if it's gonna give us enough room. If I can get right up to here. It seems to have just enough room for the cockpit to go forward. I just can't go real fast because it still might drop the cockpit, because it's not gonna build a area right in front of the cockpit, so you gotta kind of go back and forth like this. I'm gonna try to stay up here and just in case, so I can make sure I do have enough room for everything. Seems to be doing okay still. We got half the inventory full, I think. Yeah, we haven't gotten the middle cargo container full, but we got the other two side cargo containers about half full. And I still got plenty of lift. Plenty of left and right. Okay, just about full here. I'm just kind of tidying up the hole, make it a little bit better, get rid of some of these craggies along the side. Let's see what we got. Both side containers are full, middle container is full. Connector is almost full. We got our generator kind of full, so we're actually generating ice now. Oh, I got the conveyor turned off on that. I can turn that back on. That'll pick up some of the ice, but so we're getting kind of sluggish with it here full, but we can still move up and down. So this is probably about as full as I really want to get it safely. I could always add a do a little bit more if I need to, but I think with the full cargo is what we want to set it up, so try not to fill up the drills. Now, we don't have good vertical with it filled up, but again, that should be okay. We can still go backwards. So vertically, we can still climb. Nope, we can't. So that would be the only problem I see. We could go sideways, so we just can't go straight down. I think that should be alright. So let's go ahead and take this back. I'm going to set up some of the engines again so I can use it while we're not using all the power. But now that we got this ice, we can fill up get the generator running a little bit more and get these batteries charged up too. Let me set up a connector so we can get this stuff turned off and get this thing parked. I'll probably put it up here, so we might set up how we want this roof to be up over here. Or I could just set it up. Nah, let's just put it up here for now. This roof's gonna go one block up and then it's gonna have the roof. We use this block here and then put a connector on it. We'll use the new flat connector, and that way we can land on here and we'll be able to dispense it straight into the refinery. No matter we don't have stuff to refine, we have the ice. But let me weld this up real quick and get this sparked up here. So I got all the ice that I can get off of it right now. I have the engines running so I can get these batteries charged up. They can be charged up in 2 hours, so we're probably going to eat through all the ice that we have already. We're going to have to start getting hydrogen tanks and stuff and probably more engines, but that's a little bit later. Let's bring this down here and then, oh, don't get my hole. Trapped. Let's bring this down here and then finish building everything up I need for it to give it a little bit more protection, and then we'll do our final reveal at the end. Alright, so I finally got everything done on the miner. So here's the miner ship up there. I'm just getting it a quick recharge before we take it out, but let's take a look around it real quick. So I've gotten everything set up on it. I got all the controls set up on it, so it should run just fine. I haven't given it its test run, so we'll do that here in a minute. But here it is. Now it does need a name, so if you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments down below, and then I'll choose which one I think is fitting. And if I find a couple of them that I like, I might actually put a poll up, so be on the lookout for that. But here it is. I will have this up on the workshop with the name that I have it for right now, and then I'll change the name and update that once we get a name for it. So the link for that will be down in the description below. But I think it came out pretty well. It's not all protected, but it doesn't need to be. I think it's protected enough. I got the corners protected from hitting it from side to side, and then the sides actually protected with the beams right here. And now I got these kind of big front bumpers here at the front. I got lights all set up on it. 2 sets of light, or 3 sets of lights. I got marker lights, and then I got actual lights for driving, and then we got the spotlights. I got the sorters and everything set up underneath it here. I have 6 sorters altogether, so that should be enough to clear out all the ice and everything. So, and then of course we got our ore detector right there. So let's go ahead and take this baby out, give it a little test run. So as you can see, I got the toolbar on the bottom all set up. I do have 2 different ones, but just ignore these. I'll reset it so it actually looks a little bit better. So on toolbar number 1, we have our connector that's set up here on the bottom of the ship. So if we hit it, it'll actually turn the batteries off charge and turn the engines on. And then turn on the marker lights on the sides and the bottom and the top. I might work with the flashing, maybe make it flash a little bit better, but I'm not too worried about that right now. We got 2 markers on the sides, either side. And then we got 2 markers on the bottom, and then 2 markers on top. And then number 2 is gonna turn all the economy mode engines on, which they're already all are on. So that's if you land without hitting a connector, that'll turn everything on except for the batteries and all that, of course. So we shouldn't be on recharge if we're not connected to a connector. Number 3 is going to turn the front economy thrusters on. We only got the 4 on the front side, so the 3 on either side and the 3 in the middle aren't working. So if we hit number 3, it'll turn those off. So that way you can cruise without having the front thrust. You can cruise a little bit better. And then hit it again, it'll turn them on. Number 4, it'll turn on our sorters. And I have it sorted for ice and stone. So that'll drop any ice or stone that's in the cargo. Number 5 is our H2O2 generator, where we can have the conveyor turned on or off. So if we turn it on, it's going to share and pull up any ice or dispense any ice. So if you have your sorters on, it's going to dispense the ice if it's on. So you turn it off, it'll keep whatever ice is in there, so you don't have to worry about losing that. Number 6 is going to turn on haul mode. So that'll turn off and on haul mode. So what that does is it's going to turn on the 2 bottom thrusters and then the one here in the middle. So now all the big thrusters are running. And then again, 6 will turn it back off. 7, I'll do the same thing, but with the front thrusters, or the back thrusters if you want to call them. This will turn the 3 on either side and the 3 on in the middle. And then we can turn, again, hitting 7 will turn that off. And then number 8 will turn all the thrusters off. Even if they're already off, it won't turn them on, so it's just set for off. We're not going to hit that now since we're in the air. 9 is going to turn on all the actual lights on the outside so we can see better. So I got some on the bottom, some on the top, some on the sides. And then of course L, like anything else, will turn on the spotlights. So that's all the controls. It's not really that hard. So let's come down here and see if we can't mine some of this up. Now we are out of ice on the base, but I'm not going to try to get any ice right now. We'll come down here and kind of clean this up. Whoa. So even with the front thrusters kind of how they are, they still don't slow down as well. So now we're going to go to haul mode. So we're going to hit 6 and 7. Turn both haul modes on. So now we got all thrusters running. We got about an hour of power. With the idling, we got about 30 minutes of it non-idling. It shouldn't take us 30 minutes to do this. Now this is more of a short range miner anyways. So let's come down here. Now we got lights, we can actually see what we're doing. We'll come here in the first person. Alright, so let's come down here and start drilling some of this out. We should be able to make a bigger path here now that we can see. So we'll right click here until we kind of get more down in here to the iron. But yeah, we can see a whole lot better now. I'm still debating if I want to pull those drills up, but I think that should still do pretty well. It's just going to be if I'm trying to drill first person, it's going to get kind of in the way. So let's go ahead and turn our sorters on. Make sure we have our other one off. So we'll come up here and start grinding some of this out. You can hear it already throwing the stone and everything out. So you can see our ejector's working. So it's just going to take the ice and throw it out, and we're going to keep the iron inside. So if you can see, we got our iron and it's just taking the ice out. So I think that's more than enough ejectors, because that's actually coming out pretty well. It's actually draining it pretty quick. And that way you don't have to worry about having stone or ice or anything that you don't want inside your system. So let's go ahead and get a load here and see how much we can pick up. And see if the weight difference is going to be any different, because I think the iron weighs a little bit more than the ice does, so it might react differently with the ship. Alright, so I got it filled up a little bit too much. I wasn't paying attention. I got the drills filled up. I'm still able to give it lift with just about everything filled up in it, but it's a little bit slow. I don't have any backward thrust, so I had to kind of come up differently. I kind of had to go straight up instead of at the angle that I am. So the hole right here is huge, but should be fine. We should be able to make it back because we still got enough forward thrust to push us. And then, like I said, we got lift. We got to watch out coming down, though, because we're going to come down real fast. So let me get this dropped off. But other than that, I think this is a good miner. I have noticed that because the drills are set up kind of high, I've been having some problems here on the bottom. So I might need to put another set there on the bottom. But we might rework that off camera, and I might show you what that's going to look like afterwards. It's just going to be another set of drills here on the bottom of the ship. But let me get this back, and I might actually find a way to move those drills down. That might actually be the better option. But I'll test around with that later. So we'll land this, start getting this processed, and then head on off to sleep. So, whoa, too fast, too fast, too fast. Oh, hopefully we didn't break anything.
This is Drakos outpost. We've tracked another pod entering the region. It touched down on Thalron about an hour ago.
Another one? Any idea where it landed?
Coordinates place it near the old regional HQ. That site hasn't seen any activity since the last skirmish, so it's unusual.
Interesting. What's the pod's status? Operational?
Hard to say. Signal's weak, likely due to the toxic fog and atmosphere interference. Readings are minimal. We could do a flyby to see if it's intact.
Good call. Keep monitoring. If there's any sign of activity, we might need to establish a post at the HQ to get a better scan.
Roger that. I'll keep scanning and update if anything shifts.